snow is falling down, and it is cold outside. We gather around the fireplace, and no one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday.
Hi friends, and welcome back to Bucket List Homestead and day 11 of Vlogmas. And the secret surprise I'm going to be sharing with you all, but not right now. Did you really think I was going to tell you right away? You're going to have to stick around for a few minutes and I will unveil the surprise. First thing this morning, Grace and I made some more ornaments for our kitchen tree, and we've been trying to make sure all the ornaments we've been putting on this tree this year, we decided to make them homemade, rustic. We've already done the orange slices, the lemon slices, cinnamon sticks, cinnamon dough ornaments, which were not easy to make by any means, I don't think anyway. And today we decided to try borax ornaments. I am new to the borax ornaments. I never made them. I didn't make them with the kids. It's just not something I'd ever heard of. It's something I ever made. So I did a little bit of research, of course I did, because I always do, and I did want colors, and from what I researched, adding food coloring to the solution makes them fade very quickly. So I went on Amazon, because it was the only place I could find metallic pipe cleaners. I mean, I looked everywhere, and I did not want a million pipe cleaners, but it is Amazon. And this is what I end up getting. It is pretty. Opening it was like, woo, like, very pretty, but I have pipe cleaners for the rest of my life. I will never have to buy another pipe cleaner as long as I live. Like seriously, at least metallic, crispy color ones. So Grace and I just took them and wrapped them around skewer sticks to make icicle shapes. And we did a few of these. And I didn't put the string on them yet because I thought I could string them on the stick and stick them down in, which you will see here in a few minutes. It just did not work. So after we got a few made, I went over to the stove and I added 4 cups of hot water and 1.5 cups of borax solution. Brought that to a boil until it was crystal clear. Made sure all the borax solution was clear. So first we tried to string them up on the skewer sticks. We had wrapped them around to make the icicle shape, and that wasn't going to work, clearly. I thought I'd have enough solution, but I did not. So I got out my paper wrap twine and just cut really long strips as fast as we could and tried to hang them off the side of the pot that way. This was a little hard because Grace was nervous about getting burned because the pot was hot, and being high-functioning autistic, she does not like getting stuff on her hands. So yeah, it was a bit of a struggle. Borax because I used to make my own laundry soap and dishwashing tabs. I haven't done that in a while, but I managed to still have some, but I had some left. So I did the original recipe real quick in another pot here, and Grace and we made shorter icicles. That's what we're trying to look. We're trying to make them look like icicles, friends. I don't know if it's gonna work. Oops, now I'm sticking and they're touching. So yeah, so I just did a cup, the normal solution, and we're gonna see what works. I don't know if doubling that recipe was a great idea. The only reason I doubled it because I was worried there wasn't gonna be enough water or solution in this pot to cover these. I originally was gonna hang them up, hang them taller, and now they're actually laying in the pot. So original recipe doubled. We're gonna see what works. Something is definitely going on in this pot. This has been a couple hours now, and if you can see, there's definitely crystals happening. Hopefully they'll start forming to the pipe cleaners here sooner than later, because they just seem to be forming in the pot right now. So I really hope doubling that did not, make a mistake. I hope I didn't make a mistake, I should say, doubling it. I definitely see crystals forming in there. I just don't see them forming on the pipe cleaners. And here it is, I literally just did this one a few minutes ago. So we're gonna see if it works. A couple more ornaments I want to finish up this week because I'd like to say the tree is done. Actually less than 2 weeks from Christmas Day. And so yeah, I want to get that finished. And I'm still on the fence about, I need to make another cookie today. David's taking things in the rest of this week to work. They're having their work party today, so he took in some of the fudge I made yesterday. It ended up setting up a lot nicer when I put it back in the fridge, so I am thinking maybe it wasn't set up enough when I cut it. But you know, when my grandmother's made fudge, it was that crumbly fudge. But what I was looking for was the creamy fudge, like the kind you can buy, you know, when you go on vacation and there's somebody selling homemade fudge at one of the tourist stores or whatever. That's what I was going for. But this actually is more like what I grew up having for fudge, but it definitely got creamier. So that's good. Still a little upset about the macaroons. I will say Grace liked the taste of them. David even liked the taste of them, and David doesn't like coconut, but he thought they were really good, so he took some of those into work today too. So yeah, I'm trying. I gotta let it go. I gotta let that go, or it's gonna bother me. So we need to come up with a treat for today. So I'm gonna think on that. But should I show you? Are you ready for the big surprise that I mentioned last month? I am so excited to share this with you. Let's go see what it is.
Be sure to hit that thumbs up. And be sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell so you don't miss any videos.
So we're in our storeroom. The lighting's not gonna be the greatest in here. I tend to keep it a little darker in here because of all the canned goods, but it doesn't seem too bad. And I'm probably gonna have some shadows, but there's not much I can do. So we're in the storeroom because the secret surprise that David and I finally were able to get is in here. And it came yesterday. Are you ready? For those of you who guessed freeze dryer, you win. What do you win? You get to say you were right. Dave and I purchased a medium Harvest Right freeze dryer, and it arrived yesterday. And I am so excited. You are going to be seeing lots of videos coming because I am planning on freeze drying a lot of our freezer. That has been my plan all fall while I've been waiting for the freeze dryer to arrive, is planning what we're going to be doing with a lot that's in our freezer. We are really, really praying that we will be moving this next fall. So I don't want to, I know we're going to eat down a lot of stuff. We are, because there's many, many months to come, but there is going to be a lot we might not get to every single batch. So I do want to freeze dry as much as I can out of the freezer. One, just to make it last longer, freeze up some freezer space. And our plan is to actually possibly get rid of one of our chest freezers. We believe we might even be able to get rid of two. We're going to hang on to one to keep for the kids to have in their own space when we move. But we're definitely keeping our two tall ones, but we're really thinking we're going to be able to get rid of one of the chest freezers. So that is going to be a blessing because we won't have to move that. And yeah, there's not going to be a lot of gardening videos in the spring probably this year because I most likely am not going to be planting a garden. I'm saying that, but if our closing is what we want, which wouldn't be till September-ish, October-ish, that still would give me time to plant this year. So I'm thinking on it. I said I wasn't going to plant one, but now I'm like maybe, because especially now that we have the freeze dryer, I'll definitely have the herb garden because a lot of the herbs I plant will be coming back. So that is, you know, definitely something which I'm really excited to do, herbs in this. I just don't know if I'll have the time to harvest and preserve everything like I normally do and get this house ready and putting on the market probably in June and keeping it clean all the time and organized with showings that are hopefully going to be getting scheduled. So I need to be realistic about whether I can plant a garden or not this year. I also am going to be taking my raised beds with me. So I want to prepare the garden build for the new owners. They'll have it all set up, but not with garden beds. We're going to take them apart, clean them all up, and get ready and pack them so we can move them a little bit easier. It's a lot of money tied up in those garden beds, and yeah, I'm gonna be taking them with me. So anyway, back to this. I am super, super excited. My videos are going to be for the very, very beginner freeze dryer because that is what David and I are. I have watched so many videos, and luckily I have 3 good friends who have freeze dryers already who have been using them a lot. One has been using hers for a couple of years, one has been using hers for a little over a year, and one got one this spring-ish. So everyone's like in different stages of how long they've had one, and I have been driving them crazy with my questions, and I'm going to be driving them crazy with more questions. But yeah, so it's not 100% hooked up. We still need to we did get the one with the oil pump, which is right down here, because the one without it is big time expensive. And after talking with my friend Tanya, who you all know from Nightfall Homestead, I was really intimidated about having to filter the oil, and it's not intimidating at all. Not intimidating. Like, once she taught me down and let me know what's actually involved, it wasn't that scary. So we said, okay, we're going to save ourselves some money and not do the oilless or the oilless pump. And this table we picked up right here. You might have mentioned, you might remember I mentioned we did buy something at Costco a few weeks ago that I couldn't show you because it was for this. We picked this up. This is for 500 pounds. This weighs about 220-ish pounds. So it's definitely strong enough to hold it. I love how I have two shelves to store things. Right now it's storing a lot of dehydrator things in my roaster and my food saver, but my plan is to have like my Mylar bags, things like that I'm going to be using here, my trays when I'm not using them, things like that. So what did come with our kit? Well, obviously we got the pump and we got the freeze dryer. We also were able to get, this was, and I bought mine through, I guess I should start there. We bought ours through Trimleaf, which is a company in British Columbia who is one of the few in Canada who can sell Harvest Right. And they took care of all the freight, the duty, everything. But it came from Harvest Right. It came right from Utah from Harvest Right. And it has been wonderful dealing with Trimleaf. I will leave their information down below. They're great to work with, fabulous, have no problems with them. So yeah, so that's who we got it through. And they had an amazing deal going on for Black Friday, where they had a lot of things that were included with the freeze dryer. And this was one of them. This is the oil filter pitcher that will filter all the oil. So that's great to get. And then of course, we also got some oil. Got, I don't even know how many's in here. A 50 pack of the Harvest Right Mylar bags. A 50 pack of the oxygen absorbers, a set of trays, and I'm gonna say that David has been watching a lot of videos the last day from different people, and a lot of them are suggesting that we get another set of trays and get the liners. I was trying to save some money, but he's jumping on the bandwagon and he thinks we should absolutely get another set of trays and definitely the liners and the lids. 2 sets of lids. No. 1 set of lids, 2 sets of liners, and another set of the trays. So I will be ordering those from Trimleaf. I'm just waiting to see if they're going to have like an after Christmas sale. And we also got the sealer to seal the Mylar bags. It's still in the box because so we still haven't set everything up, but I will be doing videos, possibly even 1 or 2 during Vlogmas because I'm anxious to get started on using it. And of course, we got a booklet for setting up, and then we got a guide to freeze drying book that came with it. Everything was packaged amazingly well. I will say that, and I'll put some footage up here of all the incredible, or the way it came. Our driver from FedEx was amazing. FedEx was amazing. They give you 15 minutes to make sure there's no damage because you cannot accept it damaged or there's no warranty anymore with Harvest Right. So we were really nervous about that, but it looked pristine. Like they really make sure, and he has actually delivered several of the Harvest Right machines already, so that made it great. I'm glad they picked a driver who has done these before. It came great. The I don't know what you want to call it, the guts of this right here, this can come out and get cleaned. So this was a little askew, as you can see here, but it doesn't take anything to fix it. And Tanya, my friend Tanya, had warned me that that was going to happen, so not to worry about it. Yeah, so we are ready, and I'm just, can you tell I'm a little excited to be using this? So that is the big secret that I've been holding in for a while. A few of you guessed it. So like I said, congratulations, you win. Someone guessed a puppy. I think David would move out if I brought home another animal. Though we did see a sign, just like our neighbors are selling Doberman puppies, and Aiden has been begging for a Doberman I don't know how long. We even got him a stuffed Doberman 2 years ago with like a collar and everything and told him, there you go, for Christmas. We got him that. I hope he doesn't see that sign, but we can't take on another animal, not right now, not when we're moving. But yeah, some of you guessed a puppy. Some of you thought we had already found a place to move to. I wish it was that. And you know, as much as I love this, I wish it had been that. We're still looking. We are planning a trip in March, actually, to go down and look at some property. So we'll, you know, please, prayers would be appreciated. And I'm trying to think what other, there was a couple other guesses. I can't remember what the other ones were. But yeah, so yay! Secrets out of the bag. I've decided I'm not gonna make a cookie today. I'd really like to get a little jump start on some like Christmas dinner things, mainly like some desserts. And I'm gonna do pie crust and get that in my freezer for the next few days and have that all ready. I used to struggle with pie crust. I said this last year for Vlogmas when I did pie crust early. I screwed up a little bit on that one. I'll get to that in a second. I used to struggle terribly until I found Ina Garten, the Barefoot Contessa Perfect Pie Crust. This has never failed me. And I have used never fail pie crust recipes that have failed. Battery just died, so I'm not sure where I left off, but I think I was saying how I struggled before, but since I had this recipe, it works great. Now last year, I thought I was gonna be the clever monkey and do a double batch. It didn't work. So this makes 2 pie crusts, which honestly is more than enough. I might make one more batch later in a day or two, but for now, we're just gonna go with 2. And I do find having a food processor makes this much easier, and I think that's probably the success of why it turns out so well. But you can certainly do this in a mixer if that's all you have. So right now, my butter and my shortening, and that's the other and secret ingredient to this, she uses both, are staying very cold in the refrigerator. And by the way, that cheese shredder that I love so much, it shreds cold butter too. Look, I mean, I love this. Love this little machine. I shredded so much cheese the other day for the freezer. I wanted to keep going, but we ran out of cheese. It works great for butter too. So I've got that, and I find shredding the butter, cold butter, incorporates better. My lard is not shredded because, well, it's soft in my jar, and this is lard that I rendered myself. And it's the stuff I did before I got smart enough and started doing my lard in the little throwaway tins that look like little mini bread loaf pans. So you have a block of lard, much easier to work with, but I'm still working through some of the stuff that I put into mason jars. So I had to scoop it out, but they're both staying really cold in the refrigerator while we do the flour first. We're gonna put into here 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and I'm going to level it off. So 1, 2, 3. So 3 cups of flour, a teaspoon of salt, and a tablespoon of sugar. And we're just going to pulse this for a few times to mix that up. So it's 12 tablespoons of very cold butter. And we're going to get that in here. You want to work fast because you don't want your butter and shortening or your very cold water, which I also have here, getting warm. And then it's a 1/3 cup of lard. She uses shortening, but I use lard. Nothing like using your fingers. My hands are very clean. Okay, and we're gonna pulse this about 8 to 12 times until the butter is the size of peas. That looks perfect. Okay, and now we're going to add, with the machine running, open up my little hole here. We're gonna start adding 1 tablespoon. I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon at a time till I get the consistency I need. And we're gonna put this on. Okay, so the recipe calls for about half a cup of water. I used a little less than that. Okay, I'm gonna dump it out into a little bit of flour and make it into a ball. Oh yeah, that's perfect consistency. So happy. So I'm gonna wrap this in plastic wrap. If I was gonna use it right away, I would refrigerate it for 30 minutes, cut it in half, and that gives you your 2 pie crust. But I'm just gonna freeze it as one big ball, thaw it out, cut it in half.